This is what's happening on Chickamauga. Hey guys, it's Scott Patton, and I got my what's happening on Chickamauga. You know, it's turning summer now. Even the mornings are starting to warm up. The nights are definitely shorter, and they're also warmer, and the humidity is starting to build. So everything's kind of full-fledged summer. And this is kind of what I've been doing on Chickamauga the last couple weeks, really, and even now, in the last few days. But we had hardly any cloud cover. Very little to no wind, so it kind of makes tough conditions anytime you're fishing what is considered, I consider this a pretty clear water lake. Then you go up some of the creeks and stuff in the river and find some dirtier water, but they've been pulling the water, so it's kind of pulled all that dirt out of some of the creeks that were dirty. But anyway, so I'm gonna just kind of give you what I've been doing the last week or so, and see what's going to be going on next week or even further into summer. I'll start out fishing. I'm going to talk about fishing the ledges, and I'm going to talk about fishing up in the river, past Richland Creek, on up towards Watts Bar, which is what I consider the river, and fishing the creeks and the backwater stuff back in there. So, and that's where I've been fishing probably more this past week. I've gone down and fished ledges some, and it just depends on the day. I don't like going down there on the weekends, so when we got a tournament down there, there's so many boats on, and try to stay out of their way. But as far as up in the river, I really haven't been able to get a good topwater bite going anywhere. We haven't had the right conditions for it. Even early in the morning, I tell guys, you can throw topwater, you might get one or two bites on it, and you may not catch neither one of them, but I might be able to throw a chatterbait or a wacky rig Cinco, which has been working best for me, and get 5 or 6 before you get that one bite. And I hate wasting that morning bite from say 6 o'clock, to 7:30 probably, is about before the sun gets up real good. So anyways, it's going to be using my paddle spinning rod. I've got 15-pound test braid on here. It's something I've done, forever down here. A lot of other guys that fish it too. It's just wacky rig and a Cinco. I'm gonna kind of show you. I've been looking for some of the thicker grass. They've actually had to spray some of these areas because some areas just ain't got grass, and in some areas that has, or there are big grass bed areas, you'll have some sparse grass, and all of a sudden it gets thick. So I could tell they've gone down those lines. But anyways, I'm trying to find that thickest grass. It seems like it's what's holding the bait and it's holding the fish. So that's just something that you're going to have to do, what's called dirt work. You're going to get out there and looking for it and finding it. and then fishing it. You know, you can see the stuff, the grass on your depth finder and your active target, and you can see fish and bait and stuff move around. Once you get into probably an area there, I know I'll just spend more time, even if the bite's slow. But anyways, back to the wacky rig. You know, this is the way I'm rigging it, guys. You can see it right there. It looks like a normal wacky rig. I got the O-ring on it. That's a zoom worm right there. More Offshore Truce, real good color down here. I've been using it for years. Caught several big fish and, you know, 8, 9 pound range on that bait. But the one thing that I do is, if you notice on the end of this thing, is I put a nail weight in the end of it. Now, a lot of people think it's a tungsten weight. It's not. It is just a 1-inch finishing nail. I buy them at the hardware store, Walmart, stuff like that, and it's a perfect weight. I'll just stick it in the head of it like that. I've sold this to so many guys. They take it to other places where they live and stuff. They catch fish on it. But what it does is, you got your buoyancy of the plastic. And most single style baits, some of them are different than others. You want one that's going to float pretty good. Like I said, this is actually a Zoom Slinky. Really good bait, good soft bait. Buoyancy is good. They make good colors in it. So what's happening is that bait's wanting to fall real slow and just shake, vibrate while it's falling. But with that 1-inch nail weight, you got enough buoyancy in that plastic, so when it's falling, it's actually trying to pull it. But it gives it that gliding action, okay? And that's one thing I've always felt made a big difference on adding a little bit of weight to that wacky rig versus having too much weight or not enough weight. But that 1-inch finishing nail, guys, is something that I've used down here almost every day, and we've been catching a lot of fish with that, okay? And again, I'm just fishing over at Hydrilla. You know, as the sun gets up, I'll start chasing the shade if I can, fishing the shade lines and stuff like that. But, you know, it's been somewhat tough bite. You know, after about 10 o'clock, it really gets tough. But that's why I've been catching fish on. Now, early in the morning, and if we got a little breeze, which has been scarce here lately, I've been catching some good fish. Like the other day, we were almost done. It was probably about 12 o'clock. And the wind picked up, started blowing. I went in the grass bed and caught a 4.5 pounder in a day on the jackhammer. This is a real good color down here. It's a shad pattern. I got a zoom fluke on the back of it. But, you know, you can try different colors. We use, you know, several different kinds of shad patterns and stuff. But that's just something that if you get the right weather, they'll eat it. And, you know, Chickamauga has always been a good jackhammer, chatterbait lake. But it's going to take, you know, like the first hour in the morning. But you really want some cloud cover or wind to make this bait really do what it'll do for you. But fishing shallow, that's basically what I've been doing and using up in the river. Now let's talk about fishing the ledges. All right, guys, now fishing offshore, fishing ledges and stuff like that. You know, the ones that I've been probably doing best on are probably the ledges between 10 and 15 foot deep. Most of them right now in the last, you know, few days. You know, like I said, it's starting to turn summer. Bait's actually starting to get a little bit deeper and stuff like that. Only thing is, the ledges get a lot of pressure down here. And to me, there's not enough ledges to go around. Like I said, I used to go out on Kentucky Lake, fish ledges my whole life. And the whole lake, you know, was 181 miles long, but you had 181 miles of ledges down one side and 181 miles of ledges go down the other side. We just don't have it here on Chickamauga. And that's why a lot of times I go towards the river during tournaments or on weekends and stuff like that. But you can have some really good ledge fishing down here. If that's your thing to do, then that's what you'll want to do. But, you know, of course, your drop shot, I've been throwing a drop shot probably more than anything, just because these fish are seeing a lot of pressure. So this is a Zoom worm, just a 6-inch worm, morning dawn. Seems to be probably the most best color. And believe it or not, I'll even dip that tail on short shrews. It can make a difference in the catch fish too. But you know, there's a lot of different colors that you can use. You know, just throwing up, you know, up on the flat and working that ledge as it'll come off from it, stuff like that. You know, most of you guys know I do that. You know, if you don't, you know, book a trip and we'll go out and do some ledge fishing with you. But you know, you can also a crankbait's been pretty good on certain days, especially if they're pulling some water. But this is a Lucky Craft in a yellow bass color. It's a real good color. You can see it's more golden color like that. But I've been throwing that on 12. I think I got 12. Look, yeah, I got 12 pound test seaguar. I've been throwing that, catching some fish on it. Haven't caught no giants, nothing over 4.5, 5 pounds on it. but like I said, I haven't devoted a lot of time to ledge fishing. You know, the hair jig is something that's been catching some fish. It seemed like it's starting to they're slowing down on that because all the bait was more suspended right after the shad spawn, and that this seems to me like to be one of the better baits when that is happening. You know, during the shad spawn, Allen lasers are right after the shad spawn, before it gets really hot and the fish start moving offshore. So, and I've been throwing that on 15-pound test Seagar fluorocarbon. I like throwing this. This one here is rigged up on a 7.3. This rod here is actually a 734. Great rod for this. Got good backbone. It's got the extra length in it versus a 7-foot rod, and that's really key when you're making a long cast, you guys, because that's, you know, that little bit extra length in that backbone. You gotta be able to set that hook from a long distance. Once you set the hook, I'll just take my rod tip down, you know, holding it straight up, and I'm trying to keep that fish from jumping, because they will throw any of these baits fish when you're fishing offshore. Because even with crankbait, you're normally making a long cast, you know, fish got plenty of time to jump and throw that bait. So I try to always hold my rod tip down. Now with the crankbait, this right here is a rod that I love. All right, with this rod right here, I really love it. It's a 755 CB. Great crankbait rod. The length on it is 7.5. I'm telling you, it's perfect for crankbaits, you guys. You can sling that thing a mile. Got the extra length in it. Like I say, I see guys out trying to throw these crankbaits on 7-foot rods. You're just working yourself to death, and you don't have to. So, you know, go to a rod that's designed to throw these bigger crankbaits and stuff, guys. And, you know, it's going to make it a lot easier out there fishing, you know, fishing offshore and fishing it, you know, all day long. So, that's a rod that I really highly recommend. And I know they just got a bunch of these things in stock about a month ago at Real Deal Tackle Store here in Dayton. And so if any of you guys come there, you want to check out the paddle rod lineups here while you're in town, you know, make sure you stop in Real Deal Tackle. Another bait offshore, and it's not just been offshore. I've been fishing some stuff, some gravel banks or a little bit steeper banks that doesn't have grass on it. It could be some riprap banks and stuff like that. It's of course a Ned rig, and you want to throw it offshore too. But this is, I think, a 3/8 Ned rig on this. Depending on how deep you're fishing, depending on how big of a Ned rig. You know, if I'm fishing in more of the shallow water, up, you know, some of these creeks and stuff, these channel banks and stuff, I will probably throw a 1/4 to 3/8, and depending on how deep it is. But I've been catching the fish on that Ned rig, even, you know, 5, 6, 7 foot deep, and we've catch some good ones too. But this is another Zoom. There's a finesse worm. I forget what they call this one. It's the thicker one. Sorry, I can't think of it. But anyways, I'll think of it here in a second. But what I'll do is I'll usually cut off about the top of the egg sac with a pair of scissors there like that, guys. Okay? I don't want this thing too long, and I don't really want too short, because you know, I'm going to catch a little bit better fish if I don't go too short. Just going to thread that on there. This one here is rigged up like Texas style. Push that thing up on there. Line it back up where it's going to go through. You probably can't see that, but where it's going to go through the hook. Hold my fingers right there where it's at. Go straight through. Don't go in an angle. Go straight through. Poke it all the way back out like that, guys. Then I'll just skin hook it. See how good and straight that is. That means so much when you're fishing this thing, because it looks more natural, it falls more natural, and it's swimming more natural. If you got a little kink in it, then it is not going to work as well as it is if you got this thing rigged perfectly straight. So practice that, focus on that. And like I said, one of the main things is right here, you guys, like I said, go straight through with that hook point. Don't go up in an angle and then out, because that's usually where you get that kink in that bait. Okay? That's your Ned rig, guys. All right, so you know, that's all I got for now. It's not a lot. I wish we'd get some good cloudy, rainy weather. It's the first year ever I haven't been able to get a good topwater bite up in the river, but I just haven't done it. I haven't found any big schools of fish. I have got one grass bed I've been catching fish in every day for the last 2 or 3 weeks, ever since the shad spawn. But, you know, I don't know. Some days you'll catch them good in there, and some days you go in there and just catch a bunch of little ones. Next day we're going to catch 3 and 4 pounders out of it. But that's just the way it is. And even fishing offshore ledges and stuff like that, it's going to be that way too, you guys. But just keep looking around, keep fishing, and hopefully we'll see you on the water, guys. I appreciate you to like, subscribe for me. It means a lot, and I appreciate all you guys. Good fishing to you. Thanks.